Imagine this. The world is crumbling. Resources are scarce. Civilization teetering on the edge. In this chaos, there is a man clutching a worn-out tea bag, counting every grain of salt and guarding his half-used bar of soap like it's nuclear code. You can call stingy. I call him a product of evolution. But here's the question that should keep you up tonight. Why do some people hold on to things as if letting go would erase their very existence? Why does stinginess feel safe? Let's get uncomfortable. Let's dissect the mind of the stingy. But be warned, what we uncover might just be inside you. Let me tell you something disturbing. Stinginess might be your brain trying to keep you alive. You see, long before credit cards, shopping carts, and buy one, get one free slogans, our ancestors were fighting for survival in brutal, uncertain environments. Food was scarce, winter meant death. A cracked clay pot wasn't trash, it was a legacy. Those who hoarded survived. Those who shared too much extinct. So, what you call stinginess today? That uncle who won't turn on the heater in February. That friend who asks you to split the bill down to the exact cent. He's not just being difficult. He's carrying the echo of 1,000 families. Your brain is a paranoid accountant. It remembers loss, not luxury. And the hippocampus, the memory processing part of your brain, it stores negative financial events with greater emotional weight than positive ones. So if you got scammed or lost money in a business deal or saw your parents fighting over bills, your brain learned one thing: never let anything go ever again. Stinginess isn't about greed. It's about fear. And fear is a powerful architect of behavior. In the age of abundance, we are starving of control, starving for certainty. You have 46 apps on your phone. You can order sushi at 3 a.m. You can buy a car without leaving your bed. And yet, you hoard ketchup packets. You borrow Odo's shampoos. You feel guilty using 2 squares of toilet paper instead of 1. Why? Because capitalism didn't erase scarcity. It vaporized it. You're told, if you don't buy it now, it'll be gone. Only 3 left in stock. Limited time offer. Save more by spending more. They turned the fear of running out into a business model. Modern stinginess isn't just about not spending. It's about managing the anxiety of never having enough. So people stockpile coupons, cut corners, suffer silent, not because they're cheap, but because they have been trained to believe that safety equals saving. And in this system, the saver feels powerful, but it's an illusion. Because no matter how much you save, you can still lose your job, still get sick, still be left out of the club. So stinginess becomes your armor. Not because you're greedy, but because you're afraid. But stinginess, it's not just a behavior. No. It's an echo. An echo of survival. Imagine ancient humans gathering roots and barriers. Winter approached. Food is scarce. What do? You hoard. You clutch every dried fig like it's your last breath. Your brain starts to associate not sharing with not dying. And over thousands of years, that instinct fossilized into something we only call stinginess. But hold on to your wallets, my friends, because we are just getting started. You see, in the agricultural societies, sharing was actually the norm. You hunted a mammoth. You shared it. Why? Because survival depended on community. Stinginess wasn't just frowned upon. It was dangerous. A stingy caveman could mean a dead tribe. And yet, here we are, centuries later, clutching onto free ketchup packets like they're made of gold. So, where did it go wrong? The answer lies in the currency. When humans invented money, we spared survival from sharing. You didn't need a tribe to survive anymore. You just needed coins, and suddenly value became individualized. My silver, my golds, my gods, my grain. And that's when stinginess found its golden age. Psychologists today call it loss aversion. The idea that the pain of losing is twice as powerful as the joy of gaining. So, when someone asks a stingy person to donate or share, their brain doesn't think I'm helping. No, It screams, danger, I'm losing something. But here's where it gets juicier. Studies show that stingy people's brains literally react differently. In experiments where participants were asked to give away money, the insula, that's the part of the brain associated with pain, lit up like a Christmas tree in stingy individuals. For them, sharing actually hurts. Fascinating, isn't it? This brings us to modern day behaviors. Ever been to dinner with someone who counts how many fries you ate, or someone who turns off the Wi-Fi at night to save electricity? Ladies and gentlemen, this isn't just quirky. This is the manifestation of deep-rooted cognitive patterns. But don't judge too quickly, because behind every miser is a story, a trauma, a fear. Maybe they grew up poor. Maybe they were told we don't have enough. Maybe money was used to control them, and now subconsciously they use stinginess to feel safe, to feel in control. Which brings us to culture. In 19th century England, thrift was virtue. The Industrial Revolution demanded it. Waste not, want not, they said. Stinginess became moralized. The penny pincher wasn't selfish, they were wise. And in certain cultures, especially those hit by war or economic collapse, stinginess isn't just accepted, it's expected. So now we ask, is stinginess ever good? Sometimes yes. When resources are limited, stinginess can mean survival. It can mean protecting your family. It can mean future security. It's not always about greed. Sometimes it's about fear. Sometimes it's about love. But like any instinct, when left unchecked, it can become pathological. This is where we enter the realm of hoarding disorder. Not all hoarders are stingy, but many share one thing in common: an intense fear of future loss. What if I need this old newspaper from 1997? It's not rational, but fear rarely is. So, what do we do? How do we deal with stinginess? Well, we understand it. Empathy, my friends, that's the key. When you encounter stinginess, don't just see the behavior, look for wood beneath it. And if you struggle with stinginess, ask yourself, what am I really afraid of losing? Because often it's not the money, it's security, it's identity, it's power. What if I told you that generosity activates reward centers in the brain? That sharing literally makes your brain happier. You see, the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, a fancy term for the joy button, lights up when we give. Generosity is designed into us. It just has to be reawakened, because guess what? Children by default are generous until they're taught scarcity. So maybe the cure for stinginess isn't a lecture. Maybe it's a memory of when we gave freely, of when we trusted. Stinginess whispers, there is not enough. Generosity says, there is always more. And in a world where connection is rare and empathy is a superpower, just maybe, learning to give is the boldest act of rebellion. So next time you see a miser clutching their change, don't roll your eyes. Ask yourself, what fear are they feeding? And then break the cycle. Be the first to give, because the science is in, my friend. The generous live longer, sleep better, and love harder. So go ahead, give something today. Even if it's just a smile. Imagine a rich person. They live in luxury, own several cars, and their wardrobe is filled with designer brands. But when it's a friend's birthday, they buy the cheapest gift at a restaurant. They always push the bill bottom someone else. They never leave a tip. So let's ask, is this person generous or stingy? Where is a common belief in society? Rich people are generous because they have more money. They are expected to share more. But in reality, this expectation doesn't always match up. Some people share less as they become wealthier, because the fear of losing what they have grows stronger. They believe they've learned everything they own and see sharing a threat. Wealth and generosity are not directly linked. Generosity is a matter of the heart, an issue of attention. A stress artist sharing what little they have can be far more generous than a millionaire who clutches every cent. There is also a kind of generosity that serves as a status symbol. These people spend only to be seen. Their donations come with press releases, and their kindness is just for applause. In such cases, it's generosity, it's flashy investment. And let's not forget, people may not be financially wealthy, but they're rich in separate. They share their words, their intention, their law, and there are some things that show true generosity, things money can't buy. Why do some people struggle to part with their money, even when they have plenty of it? Why does the very idea of giving trigger anxiety, discomfort, even guilt? The answer may lie deep within the folds of the human brain. From a neurological standpoint, the act of giving or spending activates different brain regions depending on the person's mindset. In generous individuals, giving up the brain's reward center, the same area stimulated by food, music, or law. They feel good when they help others. It's literally a brain-driven joy. But for the stingy, giving doesn't activate the reward center in the same way. Instead, it may trigger the brain's fear risk zones. Specifically, the amygdala and the anterior insula. These areas are associated with feelings of loss, dread, or uncertainty. For such people, giving doesn't feel rewarded. It feels like danger. Psychologically, stinginess often stems from early life experience. Individuals who grew up in scarcity or those families emphasizes saving at all costs may internalize the belief that giving is unsafe or wasteful. Over time, this becomes part of their core identity. I must protect what's mine, or I might lose everything. There is also a role of control. Some people equate money with power. Holding onto it tightly gives them a sense of dominance, of safety. Letting go, even in small amounts, can feel like weakness or chaos. They are not just protecting their wallet, they are regarding their sense of self. In some cases, chronic stinginess may even be linked to obsessive compulsive tendencies, where spending triggers discomfort or guilt. These individuals may feel compelled to track every coin, avoid unnecessary expenses, and experience anxiety if their financial habits are disrupted. But here's a twist. Generosity can be trained. Neuroscience shows that with practice, through mindful giving, empathy exercises, or even acts of kindness, one can rewire the brain's responses. Over time, giving can shift from a threat to a joy, from loss to connection. So, if you have ever felt a strange resistance to giving, don't just blame your budget. Look deeper. Sometimes the tightest fist is a reflection of a fearful mind. Thank you very much, listener. See you soon next episode.